Okay guys, we're on the pound Aussie on the 5 range. There is a little counter trend trade, but trend continuation on the 5 range, and I haven't got the entry yet, although I have got the signal, but the risk reward isn't quite good enough. So let's do the high time frame analysis first. This will be easier when we come to look at the lower time frame. So if I put a structure level on here, you can see we've actually held the structure level, and haven't put in a high close yet on the dailies, but we're certainly up within this zone here, testing it right now. If we go to the 240, and what we're looking at here is we had a move lower, outside return, move lower, outside return, move lower. So this small structure shelf here was the outside return for me. We're currently testing that right now, and we're at the psychological number 17500. If I drop down to the 60, you'll be able to see this clearer. We are overbought as well at 85 on the RSI. So this is the structure level right here. And you can see that we've put in an inverted hammer, indecision. The RSI is overbought at 85, so it's a good place to look for a reaction. Now here on the 60 though, we've got a reversal in trend because we came down, pulled back, came down, and then we broke structure to the upside. So this is really just the fact that there could be a reaction at this zone. Let's go and look at it on the 15. Not a great deal here on the 15, to be honest with you. If we go to the 5 range, since I'm looking for a reaction, then you'll now understand why I've dropped to the 5 range here. So on the 5 range, we had a new high, outside return, new high. Then we failed to put in a high, technically giving us a head and shoulders. Then we had a break below, close below. Then we had an outside return, then a new low, officially putting us in trend. Then we've come back for an outside return. So anywhere within this zone here, I would be looking for a lower low, lower close, which we have already got. But due to the risk to reward, I couldn't enter this trade. So here you go, there is the lower low, lower close. And it would have meant simply that if I entered there, stop above the outside return by 1 ATR, it would have given me an inverted risk to reward like this. Whereas if I can wait for price to come back up to this zone here and then enter, it will give me pretty much a 1-to-1 risk to reward. And if you are looking at this as a potential head and shoulders, we could be looking at the market having a bit more of a reaction to the downside. Yeah, we could see a move down to the 382. That might be a little bit ambitious. This for me. Well, let's go and have a look at the 60. I was looking at that 382 based off the 60-minute time frame, but whether or not this is good enough to see that kind of reaction. Yeah, if you see here, that 382 comes down to this level, which is just above the psychological number 17400. This might be one where we hold for secondary targets to see if we can get down to that level, but then moving the stop for every outside return just to see if we can get down to that level. So I'm going to set a limit order for up here and see if we can get filled, and it will mean, if we can get filled up here, that there's going to be a risk of around 17 and a reward of around 19, but obviously secondary targets quite far away, but you never know, we might be able to get down there and I'll manage the trade down if we do get targets. Okay, we're back on the on this trade, on this head and shoulders. You can see now I've got my entry, 18 pips of risk for 20 pips of reward. And we're back for an update on this trade. Currently 11 pips up, so starting to push down now towards those targets. let's just have a look. Yeah, they're just looking at secondary targets. So if we do put a new structure low in, well, if we hit targets here, I'll be able to move to break even. And then really I'm just going to be looking for a move lower, a pull back, move lower, and then I can move stops to above the high here, and really just keep trailing this thing down all the way. 16, it's not a full 20 pips, that is it? $19, another 2 pips to go. Okay, 1 pip from target here, so just going to go ahead and move a couple of pips past break even. Just give it a second just to see if this thing does actually rally down to hit those targets. And what I'll do then is come to o'clock in another 12 minutes is I'll take a look at the 60-minute candle, see how we close, see if it did give us some kind of rejection candle or even a lower close. That would be more of an indication that secondary targets were achievable. Okay guys, we're back. Just resumed the video. You can see now targets have been hit. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this now and cross our fingers and legs and pray we can get quite ambitious secondary targets. And we're back for the final part of the video, and as you can see we pushed right down. We got around 44 pips up for secondary targets. We started to pull back, but then never made a new low, so was not able to bank any more profits. If we go and look at the 60, just get some perspective on what the market has just done. May as well delete all this off now. Then you can see that we have just here, we've just put in a lower low, lower close candle in this one, but doesn't look as though we're going to see that reaction. Well, we could double top up there, but anyway, out of that now for target ones for plus 30 pips.